As a kid in elementary school, there were two words that, when paired together, filled my young adolescent mind with excitement and ecstasy. Those two words being computer and lab. The computer lab was a special sacred space. Not really because I was young and the internet was this gateway to a seemingly infinite amount of knowledge in which I could look up, research, and learn about anything and everything at the touch of my fingertips. But it was more so because I got to play Flash games. Like, I knew no matter what assignment we had to do in the lab, it didn't matter because nothing was going to stop me and my friend Ricky from copying the seats in the back to play Balloons Tower Defense, all period. Frantically changing the tab whenever you spot the teacher walking down the aisle is the truest form of fear you could ever experience as a child. Now, the innate appeal is, hey, I'm gaming and I'm in school. But even so, I still end up playing Flash games at home. Once again, I would just like to reiterate that I'm a greasy gamer at heart and always have been. All this to say, video games were a big part of my childhood, and to say that includes Flash games is a huge understatement. Because I feel like Flash games were an even bigger part of my childhood than just regular old video games. I mean, think about it. When you're a kid, you're a broke bitch. The only time I got a new video game as a kid was on Christmas or my birthday. Well, it was either those two options or I had to put on my bootstraps and head back down to the coal mines, because honestly, Michigan is pretty lax when it comes to the whole child labor laws or whatever. But ever since Ricky went down and didn't come back up, I promised myself I wouldn't fucking... All that to say, even if I got bored with my current video games and my birthday and Christmas was a long ways away, it didn't matter, because I got the family computer, and that's got Flash games. And the sheer number of Flash games on the internet now, and even back then, is intimidating. There was something for everyone, and you guys read the title of this video. You know what's going on with Flash. In a couple days, Flash will be no more, and for you guys, it was probably a couple days back. Also, happy New Year's. Now, of course, this affects more than just Flash games, but as someone who grew up with Flash games, I felt it more fitting to personally talk about it. You know, reminiscing, give my own little send-off to a major cornerstone of my childhood. So, in today's video, I'm just gonna be simply talking about a lot of Flash games. Before we talk about the games, let me ask you something. Where are you going to play these Flash games? I feel like everyone has their own preference for Flash game sites. It usually stems from the first site you stumbled across as a kid. For me, that was maxgames.com, a popular site without a doubt, but overall, I think there's three giants that reign supreme. And those three giants being addictinggames.com, miniclip.com, and the true king of them all, Newgrounds. Newgrounds is a special case because it was just so much more than a Flash game site. There were places to post art, animations, music, and there were even forums to talk in. There's an entire community behind the site. Newgrounds has a lot more moving parts than your typical Flash game site. In fact, when I first discovered Newgrounds, it actually took me almost an entire year to realize the site even harbored Flash games. I always just knew it as the site that had wacky cartoons. But if your tastes are more refined, or you simply just want to look for something a little more specific, well, I got you covered. Stick Page is a site that only has stick figure Flash games, which, strange enough, stick figures were both big in online animation and Flash games back in the mid to late 2000s for whatever reason. I mean, I figure it's because it was easier to animate and design characters for. Like, oh, here's our main character, and we're just gonna, and that's our villain. You know, for how childlike the whole implementation of stick figures is in these games ironically were the most violent and mature Flash games out there. And sure, they're filled with blood and whatnot, but they also had really crude and strong language too. I mean, hey, I learned the word bastard from one of these stick figure games, so go figure, I guess. Well, let's say you're a girl. Actually, let's go one step further and say you're a gamer girl and you don't want to play those icky boy games. Well, don't worry, because on Girls Go Games, you get to do things like cut hair, do makeup, play dress up, use a love tester. That's not really a game. And you get to make out with boys and not get caught. Yeah, it seems like every girl-centric Flash game site, there was always a sexual component to it, for lack of a better word. But these makeout games were very popular back in the day. I don't know if any of this is damaging to little girl psyches. Well, once again, I'm a film major. I might as well be seen here eating paste. But I just wanted to bring it up. And besides, no matter what, the most popular game was always the dress-up ones, which is fun enough. I mean, it's just simply dragging clothes on a blank slate. It's not really... Is that Sonic? Is that my precious little boy? I guess I should talk about this too. If you want to play Mario or Sonic and you didn't have the respected consoles, then there's no need to worry, because you can just boot the family computer and play some fan Flash games of them. Now, unlike ROMs or, say, mods, Flash games were built from the ground up, Meaning, this sure does look like Sonic, but this sure as hell don't play like no Sonic. And same goes for Plumber Boy over there too. In these Flash games, there's no weight to the jumps. Players stop on a dime or slide everywhere. Everything just feels off. However, none of that mattered as a kid because you're playing Mario or a Sonic game for free. And even now, I recognize that these games aren't all that great, but they're probably made by some 12-year-old super fans, so I can't be mad at that. Plus, there was legitimately good ones, like Super Mario 63, a game that combines the movement from Super Mario 64 and the use of FLUDD from Sunshine, and honestly, these controllers are spot on. Mario's got nice weight to his movements and the momentum is superb. And on the Sonic side of things, there's I'll be honest, I couldn't find a good Sonic Flash game. Now, I'm not saying that there's no good ones. I'm sure there are, but I played like 20 of them for this video and they all stunk. But there is more to these Flash games than just imitating the real-life video game counterparts. Like, Sonic had this OC maker, which I'm pretty sure made a lot of people become furries. Mario also had a lot of these motocross Flash games for whatever reason, but it seems like a lot of the Mario games were just like, hey, let's give Mario a fucking gun and add some blood too. I don't know why the Mario gun genre was so big. Maybe it's just a juxtaposition of the family-friendly mascot against the backdrop of guns and blood that made it so appealing. Man, I don't know. Now, of course, there were other Flash games from pre-existing video game franchises and whatnot, but far too many to go over in this video, so I'll just focus on one. One Flash game that is so infamous and popular, it almost reaches the same amount of acclaim and recognition as the real-life counterpart. Of course, I'm talking none other than Super Smash Flash and Super Smash Flash 2. Now, Super Smash Flash 1 is fine enough. I mean, it's a 2006 Flash game, and it definitely shows. It's rusty around the edges. But Super Smash Flash 2, holy shit, it was big. It actually felt like Super Smash Bros. And I didn't like it as a kid. I think it really just came down to my gripes with the roster, because I couldn't recognize most of the new characters. I wasn't big on RPGs as a kid, and I certainly wasn't a greasy anime weeb. Yet. Not only that, but the game always felt weird and hard to control while using a keyboard. Now, I know you can connect the controller and whatnot, but as a 9-year-old, I didn't know how to do that. But now I can confidently say, as an adult, Super Smash Bros. 2 is fucking insane. The amount of polish on this. This game came out in 2007 and the developers continue to work on it year after year. That's how much love and dedication goes into this project. Back in the mid to late 2000s, there's a lot of Osama bin Laden Flash games. These games usually consisted of shooting, torturing, or overall just harming Osama bin Laden in some way, shape, or form. However, there was another real-life person who equally got the same treatment when it comes to type of games and quantity. Now, who is that person? Who is on the same level of despicable as Osama bin Laden? I'm giving you 10 seconds to comment down below what person you think. Justin Bieber. It was Justin Bieber. Yeah, people sure did hate this dude back in the day for really no reason at all. I mean, the only thing he was really guilty of back then was making shitty music. And even then, he was just a kid. I just find it funny that people had the same amount of disdain for one of the most infamous terrorists in recent years as some kid from Canada. Intermission. Now, for the final section of this video, I just want to talk about a handful of Flash games that I have a lot of opinions on, or I just feel like talking about. And this is my video, so fuck you, I'm gonna do that. Raft Wars is legendary. It's a bit bare now, but I used to play this one a lot, and I remember for a fact this was the go-to Flash game for my brother. It's nothing amazing, and the customization and the strategy involved really didn't amount to much, but it was fun. Run is a great game, but Run 2 is even better. There's not really much to say about this one. It's just a really simple premise and it's executed very well. I played it a lot as a kid. I don't really have much else to say about it, I'll be honest. The world's hardest game. This one sucks. I never got the hype because everybody played this one for some reason. I guess people just play this one for bragging rights pretty much because the overall movement is so slow and the obstacles all just have the same tedious patterns. It's not unfairly difficult, it's just annoyingly difficult. Yep, that's the title of the game. And to me, was the first big Flash game I played. It was very popular. It was on every Flash game site. It was very popular, it was very long, and it was very bad. Okay, it's not a bad game. It's just not a game I like. The movement never really resonated with me. The character has a lot of float to their jumps, yet when they're on the ground they feel heavy. Not only that, but they're constantly slipping and sliding around. I know this is part of the momentum, but on that note, the momentum never felt consistent. The level design is solid enough, although visually there's nothing to talk about. The only problem is that some levels get so big, you need a goddamn magnifying glass to see where you are. I wanted to talk about this one specifically because this Flash game, it's an official game right now. Now, Flash games getting official console releases is nothing too unusual. I mean, Alien Hominin came out back in like 2004, but I'm more astonished that people actually wanted this. Once again, it's not a horrible game or anything, but really? Duck Life is a strange one because it's a very hands-off game. Don't get me wrong, there are these small little minigame portions, but ultimately they aren't that good, and they're rather simplistic, and they become repetitive since you have to play them so much. Basically, you have a duck and you gotta train it for races. Each race is dedicated to 3 of your 4 stats, those being land, water, and air races. The one excluded is energy, but energy acts as your stamina, so you still gotta train that up as well. And of course, at the end of every cup, the final race combines all 3 into one, a triathlon, if you will. Basically, it's the Chow stuff from Sonic Adventure 2. For those who've played Sonic Adventure 2, I hope you see where I'm coming from. And for those who haven't played Sonic Adventure 2, let me know what sex is like, you know? However, I never liked the Chow stuff, but I like Duck Life? Probably because it's just a super simplified version with no stupid bullshit. Balloons Tower Defense. Now that's a classic. 1 through, I think they're up to 6 now. It's crazy how popular this game is. I didn't like it that much as a kid, I'll be honest. There's a lot of just waiting around, upgrading stuff. It wasn't that exciting or engaging for me. But you know what it was? The spin-off, Balloons. Now, Balloons was just really simple. You just throw darts and pop balloons. You have a limited amount of darts, all that, blah, blah, blah. But it was fun. I liked it a lot. Why does nobody talk about this game? Why does everybody talk about Balloon Tower Defense? Talk about balloons, fucking... I'm not gonna get worked up. I'm just saying, give the game a chance. Now I want to talk about one final Flash game for the end of this video. And I know that's ridiculous because there's a lot of big and heavy hitters I just didn't cover, like any of the Papa's games. But you gotta understand, I don't want this video to go on for too long, and I know I missed a lot of games. But just hear me out on this last one. It's a game that's really special to me. It was my first Flash game I've ever played, and even the first one I ever saw. It's the one that opened me up to the world of Flash games. Although, admittedly, I never played it a lot, it still holds a very special place in my heart though. And I'm sure some of you already know what I'm talking about because of the thumbnail, but that game is Line Rider. It's simple, sure, and there's been other games come out who've done the same concept but better, but to me, this is what Flash games were all about. The graphics are simple, the gameplay is simple, and yet people flock to this one. The only limit was your creativity. So many old YouTube videos of people's Line Rider stages synced up to music are still around today, unlike Flash. Now, the ending of Flash isn't all doom and gloom. There are people who have been working on preservation and whatnot, and odds are you can probably still find a way to play your favorite Flash games. But it is sad that there's now a workaround involved, and maybe that some of the more obscure Flash games aren't going to get preserved. I know nobody really cares about this. I mean, when was the last time you really sat down and played Flash games for longer than like 20 minutes? On your own free time, that is, too. You see, it's just weird. It's always hard seeing things you cherish from your childhood come to an end. Whether or not your passion persisted over the years, it's still hard. I think all I can say now is thank you. And farewell, Flash games. Also, there's like a lot of Flash porn games.